Hello, breaking our limits tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play some Final Fantasy Renaissance Support Edition with me, BlueAnkylo. Got a few level ups, like I said. Probably more than enough, I hope. Probably, but, we'll find out. Let's see. So we went from, I think, level 11 to level 17 between episodes, which was basically just enough money to buy our level 5 spells and one level 6 spell on each of our primary casters. And I did that specifically so that for today's episode we can escape, which will save us some time, and we might want this against the Lich. So these should be relevant. The other spells might help, Fog and Invis too, but this is going to take a little bit too long to grind for. I didn't want to overlevel too much. Other spells, of course, Harm 3, really good against Undead in the next 2 dungeons. Cure 3. I was wondering if I should take Heal 2 or Cure 3. And I think my logic is if you have a White Mage and a Green Mage, the Green Mage only gets AoE healing, although it's kind of slow. They also have that skill that I rarely use, but they get, area of effect, multi-target healing only. They have no direct single-target heal. I almost was like, well, eventually we're going to get Cure 4, and that kind of obsoletes any in-battle healing, because Cure 4 heals you to max, single target. But in terms of Cure 3 versus Heal 2 is a small AoE heal. I actually think Regen 3 might be better, just for, small healing. Plus, we have some access to that from the Angel Song, although it's not very good. Yeah, honestly, with the Auto Harp, maybe skip this one. It's pretty weak. The other ones are a more direct benefit if you're really trying to min-max that. But yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. So I decided a single target big heal might save someone's life, whereas we'll let the Green Mage handle the overall regenerating. That was why I picked those ones. Obviously, life is good. And the unique ones for the Green Mage, Blink seems possibly useful. Generally not as good as Ruse, but this is something turn 1 you can pop on whoever's on the front row, and that just absorbs 2 physical hits. Doesn't matter what your hit rate is. That gives you more time to set up, potentially. This is where the Summoner gets a bit of an advantage, because they have a level 5 or 6 summon that does this for the whole group, and I think it has no charge time, Fenrir, but you don't get it till, the waterfall. So we get this a little bit earlier on the Green Mage, but it's single target. One of the spells that makes the Evoker not totally garbage, but it is fairly late game. And then you had the choice of A Water or A Wind. They both suck. Doesn't matter. I picked one up because why not? And I think that's it. Shouldn't be any other changes. That's all. What I will show you is how I did my grind, because some people might be interested. I just fought outside of Crescent. Usually enemies like this, couple giants, couple trolls. And the way we do it, or the way I've been doing it, is we flurry. We limit break the Green Mage. The White Mage doesn't really matter. They just waste their turn. We got lucky and got magic damage up. That's the little yellow symbol up there. That means we got Mana's Paeon. We just learned this last episode. However, because we got that, this should go pretty spectacularly. We're going to stack that as much as we can, because it makes us do more magic damage. And on New Game Plus, enemies do get a lot of hit points. Now, we had a preemptive strike as well. This is the ideal situation, because we might even get the polka off before we get hit. We're going to start exuviating. The White Mage is literally just watching. And we have the option, because we got the Auto Harp, this is the perfect setup. Now we just need a good turn order, and this looks amazing. Not great turn order. We did get that, and we did get the big damage. So, woo, 150 to 372. The polka at the end was unfortunate, because if we hit that first, the giants wouldn't have done anything. So unfortunately, Exuviation, this is basically, hitting every single resistance. It still sucks. It just does not do enough damage. I think it needs a huge buff. If you only exuviate 1 or 2 anti-spells, it basically does nothing. And even with all of them, and we're at plus 90% magic damage right now, we're hitting... I mean, sure, that one rolled a little higher. We're kind of in around nuke territory, give or take. But that's with plus 90%, also using a limit, and it's limited by the number of status buffs. So it's a lot of setup to do around nuke, slightly higher than nuke damage. I really think it's not enough. For the amount of setup it takes, it's pretty weak. And it still doesn't have to roll 500. It can roll down to 100 pretty easy. Anyway, that was how we grinded. As long as you can go to the inn automatically, you can do that every single fight. No big deal. This fight, you guys might be like, EXPs, woo! We don't kill them fast enough. They run away. We can try, but there's a pretty good chance they just leave. Or at least we won't get the 4 out of 4 anyway. But we can try. This is really good for experience if you're grinding along. And if we're lucky, they won't run away. But there's one. I still think the polka is pretty effective here. And might as well use my virtuoso trick here. Alright, so they're not going to do very much damage. The polka is OP. It's so good. We do get the exuviate 300. See, that's fire 3. Another one ran away, though. One more of these, they can't hurt us. This should kill them. But unfortunately, by now, they might just run. Yeah, I mean, we get a 2. So yeah, the damage keeps going up. Well, it doesn't actually go up, but if we can put more stacks of the song on. So Mana's Paeon, or P, I don't know how to say any of these songs. I think it works. I'm pretty sure it works with Exuviate. And that's cool. Like, that's a nice little synergy. But, I mean, maybe I'll do like a normal fight. I need to buy some soft potions on the way to Earth. Don't forget. Don't forget, Blue. I want to show you like a normal use case where you don't use your limit. So, let's say we spend one turn putting on 2 anti-spells in a row. This is 2 actions at a relatively low spell slot. And I won't use the spell. I want to give you like the raw damage value, not the boosted damage. Assuming nobody dies. As long as Penelo gets another turn, we should be safe. Okay, so we weaken the trolls, so we get a little bit more time. This is Exuviate with 2 anti-spells online. Anti-poison, anti-lightning. And no polka. Or no, no peon. It doesn't really matter what else I put online right now. Free heal. More buffs. And we're doing, like, look at that. 30 damage? Like, that is what I mean. The base power of Exuviate is trash. You can buff it up with a lot of work. Let's try more. So remember, we stripped 2 from Gatto. Now let's put anti-stone, anti-fire. This is now 4 actions of setup, plus next turn actually doing something with it. And honestly, Gatto can just chill. Okay, as long as I use Exuviate on Aiko, or basically not Gatto, we should be doing 4 resistances. We can keep the dancer dancing. So let's try on Aiko. This is 4 anti-spells. Anti-poison, anti-lightning, anti-stone, anti-fire. How much damage do we get this time? Last time we did like 30 damage. Hey, we're up to 120. It's almost a Fire 2 spell, but that's 4 spell slots and 5 actions just to do that on its own. I feel like I'm going to make a pretty good case that these are not worth anything. So we've used all these. We can get anti-ice next. And I'll throw anti-wind. So we're getting close to our non-limit break cap here of all the anti-spells we have access to. And we'll have Leo use it on themselves next. So this is, in theory, 6 antis all at once, which is way too much buffing. Any other party would 100% have won this fight by now. But we can Exuviate Leo for 6 buffs, which sounds insane. And let's see how we're doing here. Still no, like, special boost from the Bard or the Dancer for magic. And we're back down to 80 to 150 because the average is... We rolled high on the 120. I think it's somewhere around 20 damage per anti that you're stripping. So I don't know, it's just not enough. It's I think it counts as non-elemental, but the setup time is just crazy. And there's not much else we can do. This is with, like, why would you normally even bring a green and a white mage? Very, very rare would you take both, I think, in a normal party. So you generally don't have, I mean, I guess a paladin could have some anti-spells, a couple of them at least, not very many. The red mage could take them, but it's not a very high, like, they have other spells that are better. I think the evoker, you get a temporary anti from the summons, you could probably use that, but one more doesn't really change it. So I think hopefully that gives you guys a pretty good idea of how weak that is. I guess I could have hid and got this set up, but yeah, 80-90 damage, literally weaker than the spell slots. We spent level 4 spell slots to get that in there. A level 3 spell slot, like even Lightning 2, the trolls are just neutral to Lightning 2, would be doing like 30 to 120, probably averaging 60 to 120, plus boosted by your intelligence. Black Mage would do more, and a Black Mage would probably just cast Fire 2, which they'd be weak against, and would be probably hitting them for 200 damage, honestly. And if you have access to the Bard, I actually think the Black Mage would be doing really good damage if you're using a supporter, like an all-support team. This is like the best case scenario for the Exuviate doing a lot of damage. I can't think of much else to do that would make it stronger, and it still takes so many turns to give a pretty weak effect. It might be our only access to sweepers right now, so it's better than nothing, and I did use it for my grind, but I feel like it's underpowered by a pretty long shot. Now, I never bought any houses or softs. I was going to buy some of these before this next dungeon. I think I've got heals. We probably don't need very many pure potions. And I guess we can buy a spare house, because we do use magic. But let's go get started in our Earth Dive. Just wanted to talk about how I grinded. Surely makes sense, right? Not too difficult to level up with this group. It's slow, but fairly sustainable. I think I'm going to unequip the auto harp just to make the traveling a bit quicker. Was there something? Oh, there was something I forgot to do. My bad. This is our secret quest. Normally you have to wait till you're promoted, but we start promoted, so hey. We get a special skill for the White Mage. It's not that important, but it does mean we can life mid-battle, which is cool. Life 2 will be quite neat. We're as survivable as any group could be, maybe. Not really. I think massive damage beats all support, but it's just kind of funny. What's my battle speed on? We'll turn that down a little bit for your guys' sake. Of course, we immediately get ambushed, and I regret immediately turning it down. Yeah. Oh, even worse. This is like literally the worst thing I can run into on the overworld right now. It's so annoying. Run, maybe blast them and run. Okay, this should do it. This is why we bought Harm 3, just to not have to deal with those fights. Alright, oops, a little bit too far. I do want to save before we go in here. Also, I shouldn't have the White Mage up front anymore. They're definitely going to give us more enemy ambushes. Luck stat, check. Dancer is currently in the lead. Let them take the front slots. In terms of healing, something like that. All of our spells back. Level 18 should be pretty solid in here. But, you know, we don't have a fighter that can tank up front. We don't have fire magic for sweepers. This group definitely weaker in terms of, like, kill power, right? But does survivability beat offense? No. I can tell you guys pretty much straight up, defense is not the best offense in Final Fantasy 1. Offense is the best offense. Offense is the best defense, in fact. You take less damage, you heal less if you just kill stuff. Is there any items in here worth picking up? I need to check my weapon list. I don't want to do random fights to check every treasure chest. I'd rather just look at my guide. Let me see. There is a Mage Masher dagger. We'll pick that up. Sort of a side grade, but works against the Lich. There's no hammers or anything, right? They could add some new hammers. That'd be smart. There's hardly any hammers in the game, so the White Mage could use a little bit of love. There's just 3. Iron, Silver, Thor. What else is there? Harps? Is there any harps in here? I doubt it. No. Next harp is in the Ice Cave. I think. Maybe if you have a thief, you can steal one, but we do not have a thief. Okay. Yeah, we have most of the harps as well. That's interesting. Because we started with the promotion. Anything else in here? Probably not. Yeah, okay, so we skip... No, I think I know where the dagger is. We pick the dagger up, and then we just go. Come on, input. Alright. We can afford a few heal potions. It's not the end of the world. I mean, we could also just cure spell our way through it. Gross. I wonder if Harm 2 is enough. Also, this makes me wonder if I should have the anti-undead harp equipped just for these random fights. I suppose you could, like, boost Harm as well, but run would be better if we get it. Let me, what's our stats look like? Yeah, we get 2 attacks. If it's extra effective against undead, that... I don't know, on New Game Plus, I don't think that's enough. Okay, I believe this is the room with the special knife. In a new chest that got added in. Probably the middle one. Maybe not the middle one. Okay, we can't run from this. We have to actually fight this guy. This is gonna hurt. Is there anything we can do to make this hurt less? Not easily. Other than, like, trying to get him to run away or something. I guess we can put defense up. It's not going to make much difference, though, against a Earth. He might just punch someone to death instantly. Alright, good thing we had Stone Skin, I guess. But we got our charge up so we can Polka. And are we just going to slap this guy to death? I don't love it. But, I'm not seeing a lot of other amazing options. And I don't want to use my limit here if I can help it. Yeah, we don't really have a good way to kill tanky guys, other than the dancer, but... trying not to waste, limits on stuff like this. Yeah. Alright. I think if we give him another polka, we should be fine, though. Yeah, that should be okay. And then Prey keeps us alive, and we can eventually put all of the buffs on once via hide strats. Okay, that should basically nerf him to nothing, and then we maybe buff up a little bit. Swing and a heal, and regen, I guess, means the White Mage doesn't even need to heal. Yeah, we should be fine. Okay, let's see what our regular attack does, just for interest's sake. Regular attack, and I guess we put on our last of our songs. There we go. That was 290 damage, not bad. So yeah, the dancer definitely can deal decent damage. Okay. This will drop her hit rate, but won't lose her an attack. So we'll go with that. Not that there's a ton of spellcasters here, but, you know, there's a couple. I put the undead harp on. I want to see if it does enough damage, maybe. No, it's okay, but it's not enough. I think on classic mode it might keep up through this dungeon. But really what happened last time when we did solo bard was that we stat maxed him. So we had a bard with a ton of strength. So his base damage may have literally been twice as high. And then the extra effectiveness seemed okay. But it's going to be not too likely in this group. Oh, here we go again. More fights I don't like. So I think I throw up a blink on Pinello. And this is where I would have loved to have Invis 2 or Fog 2, but did not get there fast enough. I mean, we could try Fear. I think it's technically status elemental, although I haven't tested that theory. Let's see. And this is where Auto Harp would have been nice for sure, because we might have been able to start with a defense up or something. Ow. Ow. At least we have silver bracelets. Oh, the music's a little bit loud. I had a really quiet starting song. I love this tune, though. Crystal Tower is one of my favorites. I'm going to turn it down for you guys just a little bit. Okay, so now that we can polka at a good rate, well, polka, that should make this safe. We can maybe not need to use any more spell slots. Nothing... Yeah, there's unfortunately so many... Like, one of the reasons I don't really value most of the white magic spells is they don't affect most enemy groups. How many times are you running into enemies that just cast lightning randomly? Almost never. So they're not super effective. We can throw a little bit of regen on, though. As soon as the polka goes off, their damage goes down enough that with silver bracelets we should be okay. And the blink helps as well. That may have saved us a little bit of trouble. Okay, so how do we actually win this fight? Damage. I mean, I can spend, like, I could do the Exuviate thing, but I feel like there's just so much setup for such a tiny value. I don't know. I guess we'll do one round of it. Anti-poison and anti-lightning. And that means I might as well. Well, I'll do... Yeah, I'll set up the peon. No, I can't. Then I lose my input again. I hate that it goes back like that. It just drives me crazy here. So many input mistakes with these bards. I have to use hide so that I can add more songs next turn. Okay, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Just ignore it. The wizards don't deal very much damage. We can start taking them out one at a time. I will see if double Exuviate is worth any energy at all. Maybe with a peon it's enough. Peon, like a Warcraft 2 orc grunt. They're peons, right? Or is that Warcraft 1? There we go. Exuviate, 100-ish damage. Doesn't actually kill anything. So you gotta do that twice. Not sure it was worth the setup. Because, yeah, Pinello will just start killing stuff. Especially if I'd put the Valor attack up, the minuet. And that is with boost from the peonies, I don't know. Yeah. It's just so slow. Like, when I was comparing it earlier to, like, Fire 2 or something, keep in mind that you just cast Fire 2 on turn 1. It takes multiple turns of setup to get barely as much damage as a base level Fire 2 spell. Now, I'm not saying that a green mage who's a support caster and does, healing and stuff needs to compete with the damage output of a black mage, but they shouldn't be so far behind that they're basically never helping. Like, come on, input. Why are you... I feel like... I don't think it's me. I don't think it's the gamepad. I really think some days, whatever the controller is between Windows and the Unity engine that runs Renaissance, just drops inputs like crazy. Maybe I should restart my computer. Windows requires your update. Yeah, like how many presses do I miss here? Flurry. Vampire is weak to undead, or weak to... It is undead, so Doesn't use much magic. I don't think you can reflect enemy skills. I doubt. But I'll try to keep maybe Aiko alive because she can just blast him. And we can boost that up a bit. It's probably our quickest way to kill. It would be nice if we had an anti-stun spell. Of all the anti-spells they gave us, they skipped the one that would have helped the most, I think. Like, anti-poison's pretty weak. Anti-stone would have been nice against Cockatrice, maybe. Anti-mute is very, very niche. We should just have anti-status or anti-paralyze or something. Because that's the most annoying element. But I think we've basically got this now. We can harm 3 again. And I guess we are exiting out. So this is a fight where really you might as well go all out. But yeah, now he's nerfed. No damage for you, and harm 3 starting to hit pretty hard again. Not that the vampire is usually a huge stopping point, but the fact that we have exit means I'm feeling good. Unfortunately, the way limits work, the fact that I used it means I have to go back to town now to recharge it for the Lich. Normally with this group, assuming you're playing FF1, something similar group-wise, with a spellcasting group, let's just say, if you had a couple houses and heal potions, as long as your resources aren't too low, you know, you exit the dungeon, you walk out or whatever, pick up the rod, you just go right back and kill Lich. The problem is we have to go back to an inn, which it's not that far away. Some first world problems, I guess, but it's just more menuing and walking around. That this is people. Like, I guess the reason I explain is I get a fair number of comments like, Blue, why don't you use the limits more often? And it's because it's out of my path. You know, every time I use one, I have to recharge at an inn, which I wish houses recharge them, or they just recharged over time slowly, depending on actions in combat, maybe, or kills, or something. Instead... Hello? Okay, we're fine. But requiring you to go back to an inn, it's just a pain. Like, sure, if you have a time mage, it doesn't matter, but time mages break it so much. And once you've got the airship, sure, it's much easier to fly back, no random encounters. But it's still just kind of annoying. Also, I have to remember green. This guy's pretty green, isn't he? Let's have a little green party. Okay, this came up in the comments last time, actually. This is the person we're supposed to talk to for the Green Mage quest. However, it looks like it might be locked behind entering and exiting again. Because I talked to him 100%. That's maybe a bug, technically. So whatever the flag is that sets the Green Mage quest, it doesn't seem to reset on the time you... Like, when he's giving you the rod. The first time you talk to him, he's going to give you the rod. And then the second time you talk to him, it's just revive the power of the orbs. I definitely had the Green Mage talk to him. It did not trigger her quest until we left and came back. So that's weird. Definitely weird. But at least we can knock it out without having to come back later. That also makes the Lich 100% free and most of the dungeon. Basically, the Warding Circle is like... It's hard to describe. It's nowhere near as good as the Time Mage ability. I think Exit is better in general. But the fact that you can save mid-dungeon is definitely handy. I didn't show it off, I guess, but this is a world trait. So we can make a little save spot, or you can use a tent. You can technically heal off of that, I guess, but really the idea is you can save mid-dungeon, which is pretty powerful, like, obviously for bosses especially, but you can just put one down on every floor of a dungeon, and even, it basically just means death means resets are much shorter. You can't spam it as crazily as a time mage. You can't use it to house up or anything, but... Or in up. Like, you can't reset limits. You can't get spell slots back, but... It's still pretty strong. Right, speaking of spell slots and limits, don't forget to go back to Melmond here. Oh, yeah, ambushes. See, this is why I hate limit recharging. As soon as you start getting random encounters, you're going to get ambushed. It's going to just suck up your time. You're not going to get any value out of most of these fights. You don't get enough experience or gold to make them worthwhile. They just... You know, maybe if limits recharged based on winning fights, it would be a reason not to reset out of them as often. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but it would be an incentive to stop running away from everything. Maybe I wouldn't like that. I'd be like, oh, I don't want to fight stuff. I just want to get to the good stuff. Honestly, in the randomizer, these aren't so bad, especially if you've got a sweeper spell. It's just annoying because at this point in the game, most of these random encounters don't give you enough gold or experience to just be justified in the time it takes to win them. And especially with our group, we fight stuff pretty slowly, so you're definitely better off with just running away. I mean, that's just the nature of FF1. And a lot of Final Fantasies, especially like the NES era ones, you're better off running from most fights, really. Okay, we picked up the Mage Masher. We zoomed to the 3rd floor like usual. Is there anything on the 4th floor to pick up? Probably not. Very rarely is there. There is a Earth Glove that maybe we can pick up, but I don't think it really matters. Probably doesn't add any real value to our group. What I will do is try to decide how many steps I wanted to take. I want to put the warding circle down, but I didn't know if I should put it at the beginning or the middle of this floor. Maybe we... I still hate these fights so much. I should have put the warding circle down. I could have reset out. What was I thinking? That would have been way better. 100% should have started with the warding. Okay, if you're playing along, just put the warding circle down immediately. Don't try to be smart and put it halfway through the dungeon, halfway through the floor or something. Put it at the beginning of the floor, because you're gonna get a dumb fight like this, and you can just reset out if you need to. I hate this fight so much. There's nothing I can do. It's a tiny fight, but we can't run away from it, and we can't quickly win it. So I have to take the turns to polka them, otherwise they're gonna kill somebody. And now that they've been polka'd, we can attack them, but we might as well just keep healing and stuff. I guess I should equip the auto harp again. Yeah, like, there's very little risk of us losing this fight with a support team, but, well, you guys can see. It just, the Penelo can kill them, but it's going to take a couple turns to set up, basically. And if we don't drop their attack power, you know, they just hit too hard on New Game Plus. Okay, so, just put the warding circle down, Blue, don't be lazy. Back to the dancer on top. So lucky. So now if the next encounter's terrible, you could just reset it and go back to the warding. No, you actually need to save at the warding circle. So that warding circle is not going to do anything. Okay, I promise I'll be better next time. Don't reset. Do not reset. Also, don't die. You can't put 2 warding circles on the same floor. I also didn't equip the auto harp. I know it's more annoying for me in the menu, but I should have equipped it. Hard fights, an extra song at the beginning definitely can make a difference. Yeah. Should we try to just burn them down? I don't know about this plan. $37. Yeah, okay. With the Valor Song and getting 3 attacks on Penelo, a small group like this, we don't need to do the full setup. Okay. I mean, yeah, technically we don't need to do the full setup. I think if the enemy group was much larger, 100% you want to do the Samba or the Polka strats. This is why we grinded those levels. We can actually beat 2 wizards without needing all our spells. Barely. Alright. Rod it up, please. This time I'll actually do warding circle correctly. Use the circle, but also you have to remember to actually use this. So now we have a save point. If this fight's terrible, don't have to fight it. If the next fight's terrible, we don't have to fight it. It's fine. And now if we die or something, we can go back to the beginning, the choke point. The checkpoint. Choke point, checkpoint, whatever. You know what I mean. Look, my brain is working, it's overheating. I have to work really hard for this group. Our ability to kill things and run from things is weak. So, I gotta go overdrive, overclock my brain a little bit here. Maybe I'm just cooked after all, as the kids say. Do the kids get mad when us old folks, or approaching old folks, misuse their sayings? Yapping, you know, maybe those are out of date. Maybe that's like a couple years old, but I gotta try to stay hip and cool with the kids these days. It's not really a very high priority, guys. I'm just mostly trolling. And to be fair, I guess that's probably mostly what the kids do too. We all be trolling. Let's win. Oh, come on, one more encounter. Just friggin' spiders wasting my time. I'm so glad we get that auto song. Everything just to slow me down. Alright. iPad generation. I can't wait around either. Okay, we can tent up. We can heal all the way to full via tents. I mean, it is kind of like 99... It's kind of like 400 heal potions if used perfectly optimally. Okay, we want auto harp. Sure. We're not going to be attacking with the bard. Who do I want on the top slots? I'm actually going to put Leo on the top slot for Ruse. That also stun. We don't want to get paralyzed immediately and lose the ability to... Honestly, I kind of think I should have taken Ruse on Aiko as well. I think Fog and maybe even Harm are not as good as having Ruse. I was thinking I only needed it on one, but I think the early game would be a little easier with 2 Ruse casters with this party. If you're playing along and you haven't already started, reset your run, start over again, and get Ruse for both of your green and white mages. I think that actually is just better. Anyway, let's do this thing. So, we start with damage up magic. That's fine. We are going to use... What's the most important thing? Not getting destroyed by enemy magic? Yes. Which means... Why don't I just use the limit? Then we're immune to stun and everything. Okay, if you're not on New Game Plus, you don't have this option. But on New Game Plus, this is like... Yes, you should have this for every boss fight, right? It's like everyone gets a ribbon, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but we can... Maybe we'll find out finally. Anyway, that seems smart. And then that's why the white mage on Ruse might be nice to do the physical up top. Instead... I guess all these anti-spells are worthless if you've got someone that uses the limit that gives everyone a wall. I mean, we can try to mute. I don't think it's going to hit, but we can try. And then Bard stuff. How are we going to kill it? Probably just with physical damage. I guess some regen early on wouldn't hurt. I mean, the odds of mute hitting, I think, are tiny. Okay, there's ice. So we got bad turn order. Maybe I could have done anti-ice on Aiko. That might have been smart, but I didn't. Now that we've got... I mean, I don't know for sure, but in theory we have protection from everything. Let's put Shell up as well. Should reduce the magic damage even further. Really, though, we Polka and then magic damage goes to tiny numbers. Let's do a big heal, because we shouldn't take much more damage. Use our limits, and... Get one more free song. Might as well go defense up for now. But the Polka really will trivialize all these fights if we get enough time, so... That's kind of the... It's a little bit unfortunate that the Polka is so strong. I might have to self-limit a little bit, because I want to see if these other abilities work. And basically, like, using Polka twice, I think the Lich is going to do 1 damage. So I don't think it really makes any difference now. I guess we can start harming the Lich. I wanted to reflect something on it. Can we... Hold on. If I put Reflect up, assuming I'm not casting any more spells, I want to try something funny. Yeah. I won't do it this turn, but next turn should be funny. And let's boost our magic damage, actually. Never mind. Let's hide like a coward. Okay, the Lich shouldn't do very much damage. Hasted shouldn't matter very much. But okay, now for the funny. Leo has Reflect. What if you reflect Regeneration on an undead? I'll just buff up a little bit here. And what else we could also reflect would be... So Harm 3 is like 120 damage. It might not be... that means it's like 120 to 240, and then boosted by the mana spell. It's probably stronger than Cure 3, but what if we had Cure 4? What if we had Cure 4? I don't know. 100 damage for Cure 3, not amazing. But we have Regen on the Lich. He did fire himself, which he's weak to, and did a tiny bit of damage. Reflect lasts one more turn. There's probably nothing else we want to reflect here. I was just playing around anyway. I'm just having fun. We could do some exuviation strats. I think we just punch. And maybe we do one more flurry. Did I forget to limit my bard and then wasted another song after hiding? Like, I probably did that. Most of these don't really matter. We can just pray. Yeah, I used the spell. I did not use the limit. Whoops. So I meant to have 2 stacks of magic damage up. Oh, well, the Lich has died. In theory, Regeneration should have done a ton of damage in the background. We just couldn't see it. I don't think it actually tells you. But if we were doing 20% regen, except damage, in theory, the Lich was taking... what was their HP? I was hoping it would show us. I guess 20% is only like 160, but it was just going to take 160 damage every turn in the background, assuming there's no other multipliers. Like, it's weak to Holy. I don't know. It's not really documented anywhere, but I don't know. I didn't count how much damage we did, but I want to reflect Cure 4 on him next time. But it is funny regenerating an undead to death, at least. So, hey, I think that helps. Obviously, the Lich didn't have enough HP for us to really show off our moves, but we win anyway. Immediately ambushed by 7 shadows to waste our time. And then also bard music to waste our time. That's great. Okay, thanks. Feel really happy about that fight. Make sure I save so I can reset out of these. We'll go to the inn in Melmond. So now we go back to Crescent. That dungeon took a little bit of time. Our kill rates are pretty slow. I hate auto harps so much. It's handy when you want it, but it's so bad at just traveling. I don't want to fight these things. I just want to get out of here. I guess I'm very impatient. I'm an impatient gamer. I just want to go fast. If there was a speed in-game was gameplay speed times 8, I would use it. You know me. I would use it. I don't care if I can read the numbers. Just go on vibe. You'll be fine. Just trust. Auto run. Press L and R to escape battle immediately. I mean, honestly, I don't think it's just me. In the first 3 games, you have to select run for everyone individually if you're just trying to dodge battles. It's not terrible, but on normal speed, where we don't have ×4 multipliers and stuff, it's still pretty slow. But once you get to Super Nintendo, you just hold L and R to have everyone run automatically. It's still slower than super speed with emulators, but obviously people... That wasn't a gameplay improvement, because nobody wanted to input all these menu commands. Okay, let's pick up our first... Now, strictly speaking, long-term, we will have a white shirt that gives us Invis 2 for free. But we don't have to give it to the white wizard. We could give it to, like, the bard, and then we'd have 3 casts of invisible on the first turn. That's potentially a strat. Now, one argument for picking up some weapons out of Earth is we might have got a little bit of money, and then we could use that money to turn it into spells, but I think it's fine. I know repels would have made all this a lot easier. I'm trying to avoid repels. They're a crutch. Did I pick up my canoe? Yeah. Okay, so, strat. Where do we go next? I think we do ordeals. Zeus's gauntlet sounds pretty good. I don't have a lot of damage AoE. That'll be our first normal damage AoE. Volcano... Not a very high priority. I think we could kill the carry pretty easily. Is there anything in Volcano that helps us? I don't think so. Daggers... There's an icy dagger. And if you have a thief, there's a critical dagger, but we don't have access to that. So, ice for a dagger. Unfortunately, nowhere else. Harps. I don't think there's any more we can get. Well, there's another harp in the ice cave, sure. Haha. And in general, armor, I don't think there's anything we can equip. Other than the gold bracelet that we can get at ordeals. So yeah, I think it's straight to ordeals. Okay, that's fine. Had to think about it for a second. Ooh. They're just going to run away. Meaning they won't run away when I run away, but... if I try to fight them, they'll run away before we kill them. That's all. If you're struggling, I think you could probably do Volcano before Ice. The fights in there aren't too bad. For our group, though, it's too slow. I don't think it's worth it. I think we're just going to rush through Ice, because we need the gold bracelets and protect rings and stuff. But we might as well do this one first, because it's pretty short. We have the exit spell. We don't actually have to fight the boss, technically. So that's something. If you use repels, that means you could just spend 20 grand, fight nothing, and exit out. So that's why we're not buying repels. It just trivializes this too much. That's unfortunate. Yeah. Now, the green mage might be resistant to stone, so maybe we can't officially lose. But we do need to actually run away here. I think that was a win for Resist Stone. I can't remember if they get that pre-promotion or not. It's probably post-promotion. They probably start with Poison and then get Resist Stone. Another reason the Death Knight, the promoted Dark Knight, should get Resist Death. Resist Dark to start, Resist Death to level up. So normally we wouldn't even have... This is... kind of think the Green Mage maybe should just have that to start with. Because if you're playing normally... you will only get Resist Stone after promotion, which means after Earth with the Cockatrice, after Ordeals with the Medusa, and then you can go straight there if you just rush it. But there's not that many things that turn you to stone after that. Sure, the Jamiras, but that's the end of the game, and you've got a ribbon for sure. And they're pretty rare. Gur Medusas are pretty rare, but you can find them in Sky. There are some more Medusas eventually, but yeah, I feel like giving you immunity to a status after you stop needing to deal with it is not great design. You should probably get those, you know, after you do a couple fights where you get annoyed by it. I think I forgot to put the Dancer on top again. Oh well. The Green Mage does have more HP, strictly speaking. This is a fight we can't run from. It's all physical. We ruse. We flurry. We harm. We use our song to do more harm damage, I think. We hope they don't do too much damage to us. Ouch. Ouch. Yeah, Invis 2 maybe would be the call here if I had it. But as long as I get the polka, and in theory, the harm will probably cover us. We can also add in some defense here as well, maybe. Hope you enjoy that awesome music from the bard. Alright, double harm with some boosts, pretty solid. So yeah, I think, honestly, this group is not doing that bad. You shouldn't expect the support group to kill as fast as the offensive caster specialists or the physical fighters, but, you know, we're doing alright. It's not overpowered. But boy, am I going to be happy when I get Fate. Do I want to kill anything? Not really. Are you freaking kidding me? One shot? It was a crit, but man, that is new game plus for you there. What's the range on that? I guess it's the 3 hits. They could roll, you know, 90 times 3 is 270. If there's a crit, it's 180 maximum. Our absorb is not that high, and the crit ignores it anyway, so 1 crit plus high rolls? Sure. Good thing we have life. I mean, it doesn't really matter that much, but reorganize everybody. So healing. Hate this game. I hate this game so much. The turn order completely hosed us. I should have put a save state, a warding circle state outside of this room, but I'd have to fight the nightmare again. I don't want to. Wow, that heal staff doesn't heal very much. I think the white mage is always better off using Prey, I think. Whereas maybe someone else could use the heal staff. I don't know. I don't think that's worth much. The bracelet, we definitely just give it to whoever's in the top slot so that we slightly take less damage. On New Game Plus, though, it's still not much. I should have definitely healed, though. That was my bad. All my heal potions after that Gargoyle fight. Okay. It's too bad you can't cast Regen. I feel like you should just be like, okay, 15% times 4 turns for everyone, 60% HP. Bam. Everyone deals 60%. Oh, no. No. This is like the worst. Please run early, or at least anti-fire early. Okay, at least we're not going to take crazy damage. Okay, we got the run anyway. Good. Whew. I do want that. Who do we want to potentially use damage spell? Damage equipment. No one can equip it, I'm not surprised. The bard can't really switch between songs and item magic if you want to not lose your stacks. The white mage probably does the least offensively for now. So we'll give it to Aiko. And I don't want to fight those zombie dragons. I'm out of here. I should have used the warding circle. I forgot. But we're done. Okay, that fight, or that dungeon, still a bit spicy for our little support group. Just wasting my menu time, thanks. Alright, so we don't have a lot of time left for today's episode. Do I feel confident at our levels trying ice? We do have that Zeus's glove. Do you think item magic is boosted by the bard song? Science. Time for science. So I know from what I've read that item magic, although it's lightning 2, which should be 60 power, so, you know, 60 to 120, but possibly halved, doesn't get affected by your intelligence when it's cast from an item rather than as a spell you've learned. So we're certainly not going to get the intelligence boost But what about Bard magic? Now, water enemies are going to take an extra 50% damage. So we're looking at 90 to 180, but not here. This is 60 to 120. So the question is, assuming the turn order favors us, can we boost it? Yeah. 120. Yeah, we did 124, 132. So I think that means it works. Or it sneakily adds in your intelligence anyway. But I don't think it should. I wonder if it affects the heal staff. But yeah, we saw higher than 120. And 120 should be the max for item magic of that tier. So I believe that is proof that the Bard song can work. We could do a little bit of science here for the end of our episode, if you're interested. Stick around a minute if you want some extra science. We have lots of soft potions. We should be okay. Want to buy more Invis 2 spells, actually. So let's go back to Crescent. I need to fight stuff that doesn't run away, but maybe we can do it while we're at sea if we fight some sharks or something. These guys, they just run away too easily. Here, big fight. This might work. So, what we want to try... Don't we have any... Well, they're not going to do that much damage. I want to find out if we can figure out the range on Zeus's glove. It should be they're weak to lightning, so this should do, on average, 90 to 180, although they could save for half, but that's pretty unlikely. If we manage to hit this first, add 30%, so 90 would go up to not quite 120, 117-ish. And the high end would be double that, whatever that is. Let's say 115 to 230 is kind of what I'd expect. Assuming there's no intelligence. So 200. 226 is the max that we've seen. There should be no way to roll that high on a normal Lightning 2 Zeus's glove, right? I said 90 to 180. Adding all the way up to 226. I think if the intelligence worked, that would be accurate. Okay, we're learning. We're sciencing this up. And this is actually kind of fun. I mean, I like learning how this game works. What I also want to see is if we charge up multiple levels, like don't use it immediately. I want multiple mana payon, assuming these guys don't run away. What kind of damage can we stack it up to? So because they're weak to lightning, you would expect... we'll have to use the limit here, but you would expect it to do 90 to 180. That's 60% boost. Let's do one more. Fine, we'll do the whole thing. It's just gonna take a little longer. But we'll get it all the way up to 120%. So in theory, 90 times, what, 2.2? Oh, it's around 200 to 400 damage, I think, if this works the way I'm understanding it. This is a lot of setup, obviously, not something we're going to do very often. But it's good to know if it works this way, I think. Because I didn't know if item magic would work. Also, keep an eye on the heal staff, right? We should be doing, if it works for... I think it said magic damage, but if... Was this magic? Yeah, magic attack power. Probably doesn't apply to healing spells, but it'd be cool if it did. I think healing staff would be doing a lot more if it was working by now. Prayer... Yeah, the heal staff definitely no. Prayer, probably not. But anyway, we've got the 4 stacks, which is the maximum. Let's unload some, in theory, nuke level damage. Because they're weak to it. 316, I think, pretty much proves it that the 120% magic damage works. There's no way the intelligence boosts it that high. So, Bard Song works on item magic. That's nice. It's not, like, crazy overpowered by any means, but it's nice. That's good. So a bard in any kind of group you have access to item magic, so that's sweet. You know what? +1 for bards. This spell, this song, pretty good. Angel Song, maybe not worth it. I wish I knew what the formula was for the luck bonus to these. We could try to figure it out, but it's tricky. You know, we've got 23 luck. Maybe it adds like half of it. Maybe, but it's kind of hard to know. We did get that ice sword we can sell. That's a little bit of money. I suppose there's no reason to hold on to the spare Gladius. It does do more hit rate, so... yeah, we're not very close to getting a 4th attack. It's not really worth holding on to. We'll get better daggers soon enough. Alright, that's everything to sell, I think. I mean, the heal staff isn't great, but I might as well hold on to it. And, yeah, all these harps. I do have a silver bracelet. Okay, so I think that's all my micromanagement done here. We have enough money for one more spell. I do think Invis is just always the right idea here. Fog stacking does synergize with the Bard's armor spell. And maybe if you're playing on normal difficulty, Knight's Mini plus a couple Fog 2s is enough that you're okay. But on New Game Plus, I don't think it's really worth even really thinking about. Especially as we get stronger and stronger enemies. Just go for the evade. It's way better. Way more reliable. Okay, well I think that's going to be it for today. I might get a couple level ups before the next episode, because I think we want to do Ice next. And I need money anyway, because we're going to want to buy Protect Rings, of course. And maybe more gold bracelets and more spells. So we can't cast level 7 spells yet, but we're getting close. Level 20 or 21 should do it. And then level 8, not too far away. So I think a little bit of grinding, maybe. Nothing too crazy, though. I promise not to do anything too crazy. But, where should I grind? Do I want to do another Crescent? Or maybe I should just try to rush through Ice next time. Could fight Agamas. We don't really have an easy way to quickly kill them, though. I'm trying to think of anything really good for XP. Maybe we don't worry about it. Maybe next episode we go straight to Ice, because we can exit out. We only have to do the loop once, grab the floater, and then exit out. That's maybe 2/3 of the dungeon. We skip the last bit. With the ability to cast Life and the Warding Circle, I think it won't be that bad. Yeah, never mind. No grinding. Next episode, Ice Cave. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you next time. Now we go low-level challenge. No, we do not. But I think we'll find much better grinding XP zones later. And having access to Mage's Staff, Thor's Hammer, whatever else we can find, Cat Claws, some better weapons for the Dancer. I think that'll just make the kill rate much higher, and that'll be smarter. So we'll save that for later. Okay, cool. I think our level's good enough. If we stomped on the Lich, and Earth Cave wasn't that bad, right? So I think the fact that we get that early Warding Circle actually does make a difference. So going New Game Plus with Green Wizard, although you have to beat the Vampire to access this definitely means Ice Cave is not going to be too bad, right? And we could grind Agamas and have a save point right beside them, too. That's kind of funny. I don't think we need to do that, but it would be kind of funny, because then if you get in a bad spot, you can just reset. Yeah. Warding Circle is pretty solid. I don't want to underestimate Green Wizard. That one ability is good. Just a lot of their other abilities are weak. And honestly, the Bard is helping. But once, yeah, we want to get in the air, because then we can learn some more songs. Yeah, that helps too. I think, how good are those other songs? Last thing for today, let me look these up. We have Mana's Paeon, which was good. Mitigation is magic defense. That might not be very important for us. It doesn't give you resistance, it just gives you magic defense. And it 100%, so it doubles it. I actually think that stacks really well with our survivability. You won't need 4 stacks of it, but just doubling your magic defense. Let me show you what our stats are right now anyway. 51, around 50 for everybody. Just getting it to 100 means stun touch won't hit us. So it's actually pretty good against undead packs. And that plus resist all from our green mage limit or shell should mean that we're getting the half damage from our magic defense, a half damage from shell, and that would also apply to resisting like insta-death and stuff. So I think that might have some room. I don't think it's going to be crazy useful, but it has some potential. The next one, Ruthlessness, is Crit Chance. That one might not be too good on this group. By the way, the list of where all the people to talk to is in the guide. I just wasn't paying attention. I can try to get the hero's rhyme if we really want to, but I think it glitched out. I will try again once we get the air shot, but I think it's glitched. Otherwise, we would see like 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 5. Victory March is the final one. We can't do that until basically we go through Mirage, so we need the slab and the chime to get that. And that's extra XP per fight, which maybe? I don't know if that's worth it, but there might be a way of grinding levels with doubled XP or tripled or quadrupled, because you can stack it if you want to use your limit. That might... I mean, you could do War Mech with 4 times the XP value on New Game Plus, but he'd probably just kill us. Well, no, we might kill him. Honestly, we could be okay. Anyway, ideas. I'm trying to think of... I think Auto Harp, you just want to take, like, 1. Which, like, if you're doing a challenge run with a bard... Maybe if you have multiple bards, but if you want a bard that's only there to give magic damage, just only take Mana's Peon and use Auto Harp. Or maybe Knight's Mini or the magic defense. Like, there's definitely some value to just always start the battle with one really good song. The thing is, it lowers your versatility, and that's all you can do. And you can't attack while you have it on, so they're just doing nothing. But it's cool. Anyway, we'll call that here. Thanks for watching, folks. Hope you've enjoyed. Don't think I'll do any grinding, so I'll see you next time for more dungeons. Have a great day.